Good morning. Dtf Dan here again. So the question today is how to just halftone the outer edge here and keep everything else solid. So this is good art brought in vector. As you can see, it's all created in vector. And so what I'll do is select all and size it correctly. So I believe this is supposed to be 6 inches. So we make it the correct size first, and then select all, copy, and go into Photoshop and size it here correctly. It says it's larger than the 6 inches, but that may be including some outer masked areas. But we'll bring this file in at 300 resolution, an RGB with a transparent background, and paste. And then put black in the foreground just so we can see what we're doing here. As you can see, it's off-centered because there was a mask in here in the vector file that was included as part of the art content it was reading, and that's why it gave you that larger size. So if we just hold down the selection key, command, and click on the layer, it should select every pixel, and it does say 5.98 inches, basically 6 inches. And so what we'll do is crop that to that edge. So now it's centered. And now with it being centered, I'll add extra space out here on the outside. Fill that entire background. And I'll save this as my work file. And now from here, I'll merge these two together, merge visible, holding down the command key and the option key, or alt and control key. Select all, copy. And create a new channel and paste into the channel. And now with the eyedropper tool, select and click on the red. So basically all you're doing is creating a mask where you're going to make this solid black and everything on the inside here and the white type solid black, but just what's left out here is going to be that gray burst that we have. So select color range, click on that color. We can increase this up pretty good because that's just a pretty good isolated area. And then fill it with black. And at this point, what you could do is come in and use the lasso tool and highlight this area. I say highlight, but it's select, and draw a freeform mask over top of it and fill it in, option or alt delete. Because I have black in the foreground, it fills it with black. And that's your little glow. Select that, fill that. And now inverse this. Control or Command I inverses that. And now what you want to do is go to image mode, first I need to select it, copy, and hit Command N for new, or Control N for those on a PC. It's going to be grayscale. Since I'm copying from my source file here, it's got all the same resolution and everything. So then you paste. And here's where you'll bitmap for DTF. Go to Image, Mode, Bitmap, Flatten, 300 resolution, halftone screen, click OK, 30 line screen, 22.5 angle, which kind of represents the same thing you would get from screen printing, typically 22.5. I don't like to use like 0 degrees or anything. And use elliptical dot shape. And now bring that back in as a grayscale, 1:1, 300 resolution. Click on the channel and drag it, holding down the Shift key, and drag it right into place again. And now you have your DTF there, your DTF halftone fade. We'll put this up above and fill it with white in the foreground. And there's that. So that'll be your fade. Now to get your solid parts. Everything other than the halftone. And so you select all. Well, we could activate again this merged version. Select all, copy, paste into a new channel. And again, reference the outer border here, select color range, click on that color so it makes a nice good mask. And then we will reverse this selection. Well, let me move down to here, just make it solid. So click a new channel, fill that, and then click on the inside because it's a nice easy mask. I'll blow up on it so you can see what I'm doing, but expanding 1 by 1 pixel to make sure I go onto the inside. And I'm just filling it with black in the foreground color. So I have a good mask there. And then here, I can grab my white type, fill that, inverse it, and that's a good mask for adding on to this one. And when I added on to this one, I just made a selection of it by holding down the Control key or the Command key. Selects every pixel in that channel, and then add it to my additional one, Option Delete. Now I make a selection of both, and I come in to my original, and I type in Control or Command J, and that makes a duplicate of your selection, and then you can see that by itself. So now you have just the black background, you've got the solid art, and then you've got your halftone DTF fade. And the fun part about this is you can save this file now again as you're moving along, and then only turn on the 2 layers that are supposed to print, and then go to File and Save as a copy. And when you do that and you have the 2 visible layers that are actually part of your art, you don't have to merge these together. You can just have them shown, and then whatever the file might be, we'll call it Clorox Pool. DTF ready, and change it from a Photoshop PSD file to a PNG. So now it's at the right resolution. We're going to save it into that folder with the ICC profiles selected. And it should be color correct and ready to go. Now you close out of that because you've already saved. Close out of that. You don't need it because you have it in your work file. And now you're ready to send that off to the DTF shop. That's it. Thanks.